Yeah, well, I was never impressed with him to begin with.
Flag.
Barb watches and stuff.
And guess what he's for?
He was there,
Yeah.
and I met him in the green room, got him to sign it, didn't shake his hand. I shake his other
No, I
hand.
will.
But,
You know, or
and I met the guy,
thing where they run check your heart.
CES course. Got his head shattered.
Yeah.
They didn't think he was gonna live,
Yes.
talk or whatever.
Yeah, it is.
What? He did a
Okay, we better get started here in about a minute.
Did you give him a minute, Frank?
Remind me not to bug out of here
I'm taking
until I
that.
get upstairs.
Really? He could be dangerous with that thing, and he's sitting next to us. That's right. He can take us both out.
You were out in New York.
Oh, gosh, that's no fun. I know.
name.
Okay.
So I thought,
Where are they from?
Okay, I'm going to call the regularly scheduled Ways and Means Committee meeting to order for Wednesday, July 20th, 2011 at 7 p.m. And would we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And would you do the roll call, please, Bonnie?
Commissioner Max Bauer? Here. Thomas?
yep.
Lemkool?
Here.
Henschel?
Yes.
Enman?
Here.
Gilman?
Here.
Fleece?
Present.
And Wheelock and Thomas are excused. I mean, Wheelock and Richard. Sorry.
You can go, Dick.
You're excused, Dickie.
You've done nothing but
You didn't have to drive in.
Check the minutes next month, will you?
Yes, he was here.
Thank you, Bonnie.
You can't tell it's like 100 degrees outside.
Next item on the agenda is the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of June 15th, 2011, regular session.
So moved
And-
as approved,
Support.
as presented.
Roll call vote on that one, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yep.
Lemkool?
Yes.
Henschel?
Yes.
Enman?
Yes.
Gilman?
Yes.
Max Bauer?
Yes.
Fleece?
Abstain, as I was not present. Okay, next I would entertain a motion for the approval of the closed session minutes from June 15th that were distributed a few minutes ago.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported to approve the minutes as presented for the closed session. Would you also do a roll call?
Commissioner Lemkool?
Yes.
Henschel?
Yes.
Enman?
Yes.
Gilman?
Yes.
Max Bauer?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yep.
Fleece?
Abstain, as I wasn't present. Next item is first public comment. I think we'll dispense with not reading the thing, as I only see two in the audience, and we'll ask them if they wish to speak. They're both declining. Okay, next item is the approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve. Seconded.
Been moved and supported to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I don't believe we have any special orders of business.
No, sir.
Next item is action on the consent calendar. Would you read that, please, Bonnie?
The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with by one commission motion without discussion. Any member of the commission, staff, or the public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed therefrom and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected. If any item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted, receive and file or approval, is approved by a single committee action adopting the consent calendar. A, receive and file. Number 1, Road Commission request for loan funds. Number 2, Child Care Fund. B, approval. Number 1, Health Department staffing plan and approval of new classification. Number 2, appropriation request, Conservation District Soil Conservation. Number 3, appropriation request, Conservation District Nature Center operations. Number 4, appropriation request, Northern Lakes Community Mental Health. Number 5, appropriation request, Grand Traverse Metro Emergency Services.
Okay, having read the items on the consent calendar, is there anyone in the public that wishes to remove anything? Seeing none, is there any members of the board that would like to remove an item? Seeing none,
Motion to approve.
Support.
been moved and supported to accept the consent calendar as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Roll
Roll call.
Oh, roll call, please. Yep, that's right. Almost got it right.
Commissioner Henschel,
Yes.
Inman,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Max Bauer,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yep.
Lemkool,
Yes.
Fleece.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is the planning and development, brownfield plan for the Cherry Republic Center. We have Gene Durency here.
Good evening. My name is Jean Dorenzi with the Planning and Development Department. And the item presented to you today there's no action that can be taken today. As you probably have read or heard, the Cherry Republic Brownfield Plan was not concurred with by the City Commission. Therefore, we cannot move forward with the plan as outlined. The main objection with the Brownfield Plan that we heard is the local participation. Both the DDA and the developer and Brownfield staff have gotten back together and plan on presenting the local components to the Brownfield Plan and to the Brownfield Authority this month, and going through the concurrence and the approval process in August. So we're hoping to be back in front of you in August, depending on the city's concurrence again. But I wanted to provide you an update so you knew what was going on and why there would be no approval this month.
Thank you,
Thank
Gene.
you.
Is there any questions of Gene? Thank you for coming.
Gene, our next meeting is next Wednesday, right?
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is finance, and we have Mr. Bott in attendance.
On page, I'm not sure what page it is, but the general fund trial balance through June 30th, 2011 is provided. That is followed by revenue and expenditure analysis with a comparison with the prior year. I've noted on the pages the significant changes in revenues. We're just starting to collect the summer tax levy. As of today's date, we've collected $553,000, so the tax revenue is starting to come in. That levy is $20,800,000 approximately for this year. Those bills go out after June 30th, so in effect for the first 6 months of our fiscal year, we're not collecting our main revenue source in our general fund. So you'll see a trial balance next month that has a better financial position than the one that you're seeing here through June, because we're using our reserves and cash balances basically to finance the expenditures through the first 6 months of the year. That's the main reason why the revenue control numbers on the trial balance are less than the expenditure numbers at this point. I'm not seeing any significant variances with the budget. On the expenditure side, we have reported that our gas line items are will be over budget based on the higher gas prices, but there are funds in the personnel budgets that will cover those. We have not made those adjustments. And we also have not made the adjustments for the tax revenue reduction that we had presented earlier. I'm going to try to have those budget amendments come back at our August meeting so we can actually bring our budget in line with where we expect to end the 2011 fiscal year for the general fund.
Dennis?
Dean, can you just give a brief kind of macro summary of why we've expended $1.5 million less at this point in the year compared to last year?
There's a number of reasons for that, but if I'm going to, at a macro level, one is the fact that the budget, overall budget for 2011 is lower than the 2010 budget because of the budget challenges with the budget that we've experienced. The other reason, and the big reason, is the transfer out item. It's the timing of the appropriations that the general fund makes. If you look at, I apologize because I took my Word documents and I don't have the page number, but the expenditure by function,
25.
page 25.
Right.
If you look at the written narrative at the bottom, it's the last item. The transfers out, it's strictly a timing difference for the $1.2 million difference, and it's related to the indirect costs that are billed back to the circuit and district court. They were included in the June 30th, 2010 year-to-date numbers last year, but they don't hit the accounting records until July of 2011. So if you take that into consideration, we're tracking slightly under year-to-date expenditures from a year ago, which are primarily due to the staffing situations in our public safety sheriff's function.
Thank you.
Is there any other question of Dean on that? Next item is the budget adjustments.
I would ask for your approval unless there are questions on any of the budget amendments presented.
Move for approval as presented.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the budget adjustments as presented. Is there any discussion or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Next item is Mr. Bott continuing on the IRS increase in mileage rate.
Yeah, the Internal Revenue Service, from time to time, when gas prices during the year fluctuate, will increase the standard mileage rate
Or decrease.
or decrease. And they have officially done that because of the higher gas prices. They usually set a rate, they try to set it for a full 12-month period, but they recently, in June, increased the rate from the 51 cent per mile to 55.5 cents per mile. And our county travel policy reimburses employees at the IRS established rate. And the reason that we do that is we want to make our employees whole when they use their personal vehicles to conduct county business. And we don't want to pay more than that, because if we pay more than that, there's a W-2 consequence. So what we generally do is adjust the mileage rate to be in agreement with the IRS established rate, and that's what I'm asking to do here, and that would be effective July 1st of 2011.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move we go with the recommendation to increase the standard mileage rate to 55.5 cents per mile effective July 1st, 2011.
Support.
Herb?
Yeah, I guess my concern here is the amount of cost with our budget being where they're at, as to why we would want to increase this rate. I think 51 cents is a fair rate. I'm just concerned trying to go up for another 4.5 cents is, 4.5 cents is a little bit much. So I'm going to vote against this.
Rob?
If this is our policy, why don't we just adjust it? Do we have to bring it before this board to adjust it?
You know, it's a good question, Commissioner. I was thinking that very same thing. If it's in our policy and we say IRS rate, we have just historically always brought it so the board was aware of it. I don't really know if technically.
One of the reasons that may be necessary, and I'm open to change on this, but usually in December, I bring a travel policy update with an addendum which gives the rates for the, subsequent year. And in that item, I do indicate what the rate is. So rather than just change it, because the board took action on that previously, we bring these changes back.
I'm going to ask the board to indulge us and take action on this one, but I think Commissioner Henschel brings up an appropriate question. I don't even know if our travel policy says the rates, whatever they are going to be at IRS rates. It would seem that maybe we should adjust our process and just bring you the information when rates change so you know it, but not ask you to vote on it because your policy says it'll be whatever the IRS. So we will investigate that for future, and that way I don't know that it'll be necessary to do that.
Larry?
Well, people in the county are doing business on behalf of the county and providing their own vehicle. I don't think that they should be taking it on the chin for higher gas prices. I mean, they're doing the business of the county, and we should be paying them whatever the reflective rate that is allowable by the federal guidelines.
I agree.
Any other comments? Been moved and supported to adopt the IRS standard of, to increase our standard mileage rate from 51 cents to 55.5 cents per mile for the final 6 months of 2011 per the IRS guidelines. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Not.
Roll call?
Commissioner Inman?
Yes.
Gilman?
Yes.
Max Bauer?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yep.
Limco?
No.
Henschel?
Yes.
Please?
Yes. Motion passes. Next item would be administration, the administrator's update. Dennis?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a few issues to brief you on. First, you may have noticed the meters have all been changed out in front of the building now. And I'm going to tell you, I still think we need to put some signage up, because I can't tell you how many people have talked to me and said, I had no idea we could push that button or that button was there. I was talking to someone today, it was Steve Cousins, the school superintendent, and he said, I went here 6 months where I just kept feeding the meters until somebody was with me and said, there's that button there for the whole downtown,
Yeah.
So
Maybe we should get a local artist to paint smiley faces on it.
So anyway, the meters have all been changed now, and they're the way you had requested them, so that's done.
Maybe we should change our mind and take them out.
We do have an issue that we have some concern about. We've been working pretty hard on it, and we think we have the answer, but we're still a few days away. And that is with the generator that we received a federal Homeland Security grant for about 1.5 years ago to put a new generator in for the EEOC building at the Health Department. This was at the time when we thought we were going to build it on site. Well, needless to say, for a variety of reasons, some of which we looked at several other options, which took us a period of time to do. The grant, it appears now, has to be expended by the end of this month, and we probably are going to lose it. It cannot be invoiced. It has to be built, received, and paid for. And so we're looking at options. Go ahead.
Could we install it as a secondary backup unit, have the circuits not necessarily ready, and have it cratable so that at a point where we're building a new facility, we'd be able to move it over and use it?
Why couldn't we just store it?
That's essentially what I'm saying, but it would have to be installed.
That was our plan, but it's built from the ground up. These are massive generators. The companies will not invoice you until it's actually delivered, and it has to be built. It's about an 8-week build-out on the equipment. And Danny tells us, and our electrical engineer tells us, that the build-out for the existing building is different than the build-out for the new building, if in fact we end up at the new building. And if for some reason you get the prices and decide to go back to the other building, we've built a generator that has the wrong voltage or wattage, I apologize, I don't know which, for the existing building, so it would have to go back and be modified. In any event, even if we started today, Dean has done a lot of work on this, there is not time to do this. So we're still working on it, but and it was $90-some thousand. But our goal here is, what we've proposed is for them to see if there's something that they have in, this is a 2008 appropriation from Homeland Security, which takes a couple of years to actually get. What we're asking them to review is if there's something in the 2009 award that could be purchased with the 2008 funds and then transfer ours to 2009 so that we have an extra year. We're trying to work every option we can, but I just wanted you to know that it's an issue that the state is the one calling the shots on this and saying, if you're not done by July 31st, you lose it.
You know, that unit would probably set not in the building anyway.
That's correct.
Why don't we just get in a hurry and build a building and put it in it? Have it all ready to go.
The thing is, I think, this is my opinion, if it was built and designed, and we had time to build it and design it, we awarded it last month, we could just take it and store it. We already had it worked out to store it at the Public Works garage, crate it, it would have been no problem. We could have got the invoice, we could have paid for it. The problem is that, and I don't understand the electronic part of it, but my understanding from Danny and from our electrical engineer is that it's going to be specific to the building that you design, and because the wiring in the existing building is old and is, different, it would be built differently. I don't understand any more than that, but that's what I'm being told. So we're exhausting every option that we can to try to save that money, but I wanted you to be aware of it in case that doesn't work out.
Have you talked to
Take it off of Herb's
the generator company personally?
I have not personally, but Danny Brown has.
Are they really willing to lose a $92,000 sale by not letting us pay ahead?
Yeah.
Well, we
think
were
it's
not
fair
able
goal.
to find a generator that we could buy. They simply don't have an inventory of generators.
But they will not allow us to pay for one that they're going to
No,
build.
no.
They absolutely will not. And not only has Danny Brown talked to them, Dean has not talked to them, but the Regional Homeland Security Director has made the call to the company on our behalf, Tim London, and they have told him the same thing. They will not
Have we
do
called
that.
the other companies to see if they would do that and then bring that back to this board?
That's what I would be doing.
I don't know, no, I don't think we have.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would sure do that if I was a businessman and I had a chance to get
I'd
that.
go back to the original
I mean,
bids.
who doesn't want the money up front?
yeah, unless they're planning on
Right,
overrunning
really?
costs.
Yeah.
Pay me now. I mean,
But that's what we're being told. Now, I have not investigated going back to the other companies. The other companies had higher bids, but we will discuss
I
that in the
think the other
morning and
companies
see if
had
there's a
lower
way that we
bids.
could do that. Pardon?
We took the highest bid.
Yes.
The other companies are lower bids.
Because Danny Brown liked that company
Right.
and he's
Coming
familiar with them and
But
they're
there
Yeah.
are reasons for that, though.
Well, there is some reasons. and good reasons.
Ridgeway Company.
I will have a discussion in the morning to see if there's a way we can do something.
Because between having no generator and having the one that is second best,
Right, yeah.
I would like you to go talk to these companies personally, Dennis, and bring that back to this board so we can make a decision that's, because we're talking about losing the residents of this county $92,000 of the value if we don't move our feet. So we need to at least do everything we can.
We will do that. We will do that in the morning. We will investigate this option.
Thank you.
You know, before we leave this, I don't know what would be so special about a generator. When they get even rough plans for that building drawn, they can say, well, this is going to require
You're right.
1,000 amps or whatever.
You're right.
And as far as distributing it once it's in the building, and that's not going to be a high energy use building anyway.
I cannot answer that, but I'd be
Well-
glad to have Danny call you in the morning, and he can explain it to you, or you can...
I might drift in here tomorrow.
Come on in. You know you're always welcome.
I know.
I'll get Danny
It's air
over.
conditioned.
It's air conditioned.
It's air
At least today it was. It wasn't Monday. Monday was off. It was broke, but it's air conditioned today. Feel free, and we'll make some calls tomorrow.
Well, why don't you make your calls tomorrow and I'll come in Friday?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just give us an idea when you're coming so I can make sure Danny's available, okay?
Sometime in the morning.
Okay.
Not too early. Old people move slow.
We've started our budget meetings, started them yesterday. I guess we've only had 3 budget meetings so far. Based on the numbers that we received from the departments and what we estimate, all very preliminary, we have to reduce the budget by about $4 million from where we were, or from what has been requested. And I'm going to tell you, we haven't, with a few exceptions where I've encouraged departments to put in things, there are a few items that I would consider to be outrageous or unnecessary. So Dean and I are working with the departments, three meetings so far. The departments have been wonderful. We've basically reduced all 3 budgets down to the 3 departments that we've met with. Remember, our focus is going to be on program elimination. Tied into that, thank you to the 3 commissioners who have submitted their program matrix. I appreciate you getting it done. Even though you didn't always follow the rules, I still appreciate it. And I would encourage the others, they were due today, They were I think they're due today, right?
Oh, I've got mine done.
Yeah, so just if you get them
I'll
in the next
email it
couple
tomorrow.
days, please, I would appreciate it. So I know a couple of you have been gone, so if you don't have it and you need help with it, we'll be glad to help you with it. But we want to get those in hopefully by the 1st of next week, because as we meet with these departments, I want to be able to look at what your thoughts were as I look at programs with them and focus in on some of them.
So,
some of the questions
Nick, you
were,
can come in on Friday and they can fill it out for you.
Dick's was the
Mine was the
first one in.
Whoa.
I'll get mine in tomorrow.
And I spent a couple hours on it. so
That's
you
not
guys-
true. Dick's was the 3rd one in. Commissioner Henschel and Gilman were the first 2 in. And his was in right on top of that. They were all 3 in on
You
the
only
same
got
day.
3 in? I thought mine was in.
Not in our office. It might be in
I
some
emailed
place.
it back.
Well, we'll check again tomorrow, but
Would you?
I talked to Katie at 5 today, and we had the 3 in. So please, if you haven't,
I
get them in, and if you need help with it, or you haven't received it, Commissioner Inman thinks he may not have received it, give us a call, and we'll get it to you right away. It's just very helpful, and we're not talking specifics, but as we meet with these departments, it's really good to have some sense of where commissioners are so that we can kind of hit in. And we're starting with the question, this is the question we're asking we're starting with, we have to cut $4 million from this budget. They kind of know that. Larry was at the meeting and talked to the department heads. But beyond that, we're starting with the question that you've asked several times. If you had to start this program from ground zero, what would be the most important things to do? What would you do? What don't you need to do? And we're getting some pretty good responses from that so far. So
Was this the survey on the email?
Yeah.
this was not the survey. This was the thing where you were given about
The matrix.
120 programs, and you were
We
asked to
rank
put a
them.
1,
But-
2, or
but-
3.
You can't have any more than 43s
It
or
was sent by
42s or
email.
41s.
I never saw that either.
I didn't either. So
I never got it.
I'm just going to stop in tomorrow. and get
You
it in.
better do them, because I got a couple
It
hours
doesn't
in
take
on
very
that.
long. I mean, you can
I've got a
whip through
couple
it
hours
pretty
on
quick.
mine, too.
I had a couple hours in
Mr.
on
Chairman, clarification, it's 4 million of what's been requested.
Requested.
It's not.
That's right.
It's what, 1.2 million from previous year's budget if we use the
Well,
fund balance
we're-
of 600?
We're past asking you to concentrate on that. Let's just say, this budget, where we're at right now,
It's gonna be a
is going to
37
be $1.5 million or more less than this year's.
All right, okay, that's all I need to know.
Okay?
All right.
So it's, so it's cutting into
We
stuff
can,
that we're
we can
doing.
make that up with Herb's mileage.
And so we're, but as I said, the meetings are going good. They're very in early stages, but that information will be very helpful to us. And there are things, I'm just going to tell you, like, right away, it's $4 million, but we have an $850,000 or $890,000 request, somewhere in that area, from Jamel for the final step of upgrading the whole 911 dispatch system. And the reason that's in there is Jamel knows there's no money. But I told Jamel, I want that in the budget. I want you to see what is needed to finish off that system. We may not fund it this year, we may not be able to fund it next year, but you got to put it in. So, right there's 900,000, you see
Yeah.
what I mean? But when those things come, you need to know about them, because you may say, listen, we don't want to wait 2 years on that or 3 years on that. We got to get it started right now.
I gave that a 3.
So did I.
And I gave cat licenses a 3, too.
I know you did. And,
Didn't see that on there.
and we're seriously thinking about cat licenses with the revenue problem that we have. So anyway, I just want to give you an update. We're working on it. You know, Dean and I feel very confident we'll have it balanced for you like we always do. And then it'll be up to you to kind of decide. But we do hope that once we get the information from you, we can accumulate it and then give you the summary of how the commissioners feel about everything. Because then I would encourage you to start having discussions, particularly on the lowest ones. You know, so you can start talking about that now, because I'm guessing those will be the things you're going to concentrate on when you get to the budget hearings, so.
Public input process survey.
The survey is on the, I believe, I haven't talked to anybody because I was gone last week.
It's on site,
Survey
yeah.
is on the website. People are able to fill it out. Advertisement was done, a press release went out.
Okay.
Some interviews were done. I cannot tell you what kind of response we've gotten so far, but it's been out, and that'll be done as well. The last thing I wanted to update you on is, had a meeting today with the city manager and the school superintendent. You know, we were working on this joint, we're doing an analysis of the 3 units of government to see what kind of services could be consolidated. We finalized our plans. In the next 2 weeks, we'll have a meeting with representatives of all 3 units of government. We're going to set up teams, primarily in the area of finance, human resources, facilities, and information technology. And there'll be a member from each of the 3 units of government. They'll call on whatever staff meeting with staff they need to, and their charge will be to come back within a reasonable period of time, probably 4 weeks, with at least 1 or perhaps 2 major things that we can analyze and investigate for the possibility of consolidating services or eliminating services. And so I think we all 3 feel pretty strongly that that's going to be a successful exercise to go through. Our team will be Dean, Danny Brown, Don Sheehan, and Jen Seaman. So, and then they will meet with their counterparts from those other agencies, and they're going to look at options there. So we're moving that thing forward. It's been dragged a little bit this summer, and we apologize for that, but we'll be moving it forward here in the next couple of weeks. That's really what I wanted to update you on at this point, unless you have any questions.
Anybody have any questions of Dennis? Thank you, Dennis. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. I don't believe we have any. Next item would be new business. I don't think we have any of that. Next one is second public comment. We have no public, so we'll bypass that one. Next one's Commissioner Committee reports. I would like to make a comment. I'd really like to thank the Board of Commissioners and the staff and the commissioners that sent the flowers and the cards and attended the visitation and the funeral for my sister. It was really meant something to her family and to myself. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Dick?
Well, I was just going to mention, I don't know how many of you got one of these, but Williams and Bay septic tank pumpers.
Yeah, I did.
They're sending a nice little card around, and of course they got some discounts on it, but they're doing some good public relations. This is not the first one I've gotten. Maybe we can make a success out of the septic plant, or maybe we can give it to them.
Yeah, they're out hustling for business.
Yep, they are.
I received one at the business plus one at my residence.
Yeah,
and
they were eye-catching.
yeah, like Dick said, it's a nice color postcard. It's
Yep.
two-sided, and it's really well done.
Had mine pumped this summer.
I'm on sewer.
Rob?
I had a call from a constituent in my district regarding the survey that we were just talking about, give you $100 and where would you put it? And, he started out by saying, that's what I elected you to do. It was George McManus.
That's what I elected you to do.
That's beautiful. Thank you, George.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I have one. It's not really ready, and it'd probably be better if I bring it up next week. It's with the Planning Commission, but I'd like to have put a little more into it than just blithely say something about it.
All right, thank you.
Mention the luau one more time.
Oh, yes.
The luau. Please.
On
July
next-
27th, isn't it?
Yeah, next Wednesday, July 27th, 2011, from 4 to 6, at the Traverse City Senior Center, they're having a luau. And it's for the County Commission on Aging and TC Senior Center merger.
And it's free if you're 60 years old or older. However, you must have a ticket. You must, if you want to attend, you need to call the senior center and request a ticket.
And that phone number for the audience would be 922-4911 and ask for Brandy. And like Commissioner Maxbauer said, it's free and
If you're under 60, you can still attend, but there's a charge.
they have dinner will be served at 4:15 p.m.
We can do that before our meeting.
Dennis?
Then you come here and help us
Yeah.
out.
It's with great sadness I have to report that at 5:45 tonight, I was notified of an accident out at Twin Lakes where a young swimmer had drowned in the water.
Oh,
We weren't sure of the circumstances or if in fact the young man had passed away, but I did receive an email now that the young man has passed away. The sheriff and of course our dive team and everyone was on site. An investigation was done. There are people swimming out there now. The sheriffs, they've found no indication of any issues out there. It just seems to be a very unfortunate situation. I don't have anything more on it now other than that, but I will certainly get a report to you once we have the investigation complete from the sheriff.
Dennis, in regards to that, had a conversation with a gentleman that was concerned about the parties that are going on there after 11 o'clock at night with alcohol out there. He's requesting whether or not we might be able to have more sheriff patrols going through
We have a
there.
full-time caretaker out there.
Well, yeah, but he's in bed by that time.
But
He
that's-
doesn't work
that-
24 hours a day. So, but, he was just concerned that apparently the night before last, there was a pretty loud party going on, so.
Night before last. Okay, we will check into it.
Okay.
Gee, nobody invited me.
Yeah, nobody invited me either, but apparently it's a lot of younger people.
Good.
Well, as hot as it's been, that's kind of a natural attraction out there.
So,
We have hours
Anybody
posted
else?
out there for swimming?
just tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock is the Keith
Signs
Charter
are-
State Park dedication at the state
Posted
park.
according
So
to
those that
MMR.
want to show up for that, I think this is a great opportunity to recognize Keith and his contribution to our community through the Natural Resource Fund, so, and through the parks. So it'll be great.
Around 10 o'clock.
So are we
Tomorrow,
on,
10 o'clock.
are we on announcements now?
We're just going to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Under notices and announcement, August 19th, we've got the wellness luncheon scheduled at the Civic Center.
Would you please sign up for your time when you're going to do that?
I already did.
August 24th, 1 to 3 p.m. We have a joint meeting scheduled with the Tribal Council at the Pashabi Town Government Officers Building. Anybody else have any?
Well, I just passed around some trifolds. Essentially, the Constitution Celebration event is happening, the anniversary of the Constitution is September 17th. Well, the Constitution Celebration team, they're having a free event for the public at the City Opera House on September 18th from 2 to 7 p.m. What they do is they dress and go around to the schools and actually perform, they do performances and teach about the Constitution. They're a C3, and they're doing this so far kind of on a shoestring. I wanted to announce tonight that I've sold some equipment at the store so that I can give them a $500 check towards their efforts. And if anybody can, this is not a challenge or anything, but if anybody wants to help or wants to advertise, it's a good opportunity for advertisement on their program. They could do that as well. And if they get a hold of me, I can get them some information where they could get set up for some advertising. But that's it for right now.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Anybody else? Next item is closed session. I don't believe we have one scheduled. Next item, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Hey, wait a minute, it's too cool in here. Let's stick
We're
around.
adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.
New record for the year.
New record for the year.